Hello everyone, it's Coach Megan of Mindful Motion here, and I'm going to share with you some information that I used to charge people thousands of dollars for. So why am I giving it away for free then? Because I wouldn't be here without all of you. I've started over in my coaching business twice now for personal reasons that we will not dive into, and I've grown my Instagram page to almost 70,000 followers. I have more clients than I've ever had in my life, and again, I wouldn't have been able to do it without you guys. So, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the 5-step system that I use for myself and all of my clients to get happy and pain free back and hips. And I know that you've probably heard me talk about this on my page, or you may have received a document about it, but this is going to be a thorough overview of what exactly this system is and how you can use it to have a happy back and hips too. So, before we get started, grab a piece of paper and a pen or something to type on, whatever kind of person you are, because we need to take some notes so that you can actually implement this information. If you just watch this and you never use it, you wasted your time. But if you implement it immediately, even if you just do 2 of the steps right, you'll start to notice a difference in your body, and it will have been worth it. A brief overview of how I developed this system. I had chronic back and hip pain for over 6 years, and I invested a ton of money into it. I mean, I had worked with tons of different bodywork professionals. I had coaches. I invested in courses. I read books. I also spent a lot of time just trial and error, figuring it out as I went. And I want you to avoid having to go through all of what I had to go through. A lot of frustration and tears, which is still going to be part of the process, but it doesn't have to last 6 years, not like it did for me. Stuck in that loop is no fun, not being able to lift the way that I wanted to lift, not being able to live my life the way I wanted to live my life because I was stuck in pain. Once I stopped just focusing on more time, more rolling out, more stretching, which are 2 of the steps, things began to click and things changed forever. And I literally have a different body at this point in my journey. Step number 1 is tissue work. Think about this like giving yourself a massage, which massages are wonderful, but they're expensive. You have to go somewhere or you have to have them come into your home, which is even more expensive and it kind of like feels like an invasion of privacy sometimes. So being able to do this work on your own is huge. Now, there are certain spots on your body that you'll roll out, and these will become your go-to spots. What I mean by that is you will get full releases. It will open your hips in a way you haven't felt before. For example, my client James, when he rolls out his glutes, his hips just let go completely. Same with my client Sarah right now. She rolled out her glutes and she's like, "Oh my gosh, my back feels so much better." Mind you, there are more steps to this process. So although tissue work can provide that immediate relief, you still need to change the foundation and the balance in the body so that it actually sticks. Another really great one is rolling out the quads with a barbell, as you can see here. And I've had clients in the past that have done this and boom, their knee pain that they've had for months is completely gone just because their quads were so tight. So loosening the quads not only helps the hips, but it's also going to help the knees. Double bang for your buck. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. That's my personal favorite, honestly, is rolling out the quads with the barbell. It doesn't get much better than that. So if you have an area of the body that's chronically tight, give some time to it before you train just to loosen that up. But again, let's get into the other steps so that you can actually make that lasting difference. Step number 2 is passive stretching. Think about this like your typical hamstring stretches, a quad stretch on the wall, which the quad stretch on a wall is another one that can provide people that immediate relief sensation. Where people go wrong, however, is not spending enough time in these positions. We can't do gym class style stretching where we spend 15 to 30 seconds in an area and move on to the next just while we're warming up and expect that to make a change. You need to be spending at least 2 minutes in a deep stretch for it to start to open joint capsule space. And that's exactly why passive stretching is important. For the people out there who are hypomobile, meaning stiff, you need passive stretching to open joint capsule space before training. On the other end of the spectrum, there are people with hypermobility who are extremely flexible, like my client Alexandra right now. And we still do some passive stretching because what happens in the hypermobile people is that your body will create these strange lines of tension because it has to create stability somewhere. And the quad wall stretch is one that is really great for her because she has a lot of tension across those quads and hip flexor. And again, just like the tissue work, these two things together are extremely important pieces to the puzzle, but alone, they are not going to get the job done. We need to go more. This is where step 3 comes into play. This is what differentiates my system from the rest, which is end range strength training. This is literally exactly as it sounds. We are strength training at end ranges of motion. And if you take this style of training and apply it to the hips, you'll be absolutely amazed at what it can do for your back. One of my clients, Curtis, he had back pain when we first started, and we didn't really do much back-specific work, but we did do end range strength training like this 90-90 internal rotation, where he was able to get his glutes online better and to start to create symmetry from his left to right. And over time, this all built up, and now he doesn't have any issues with his back. Same with my client Claire, who had hip impingements, and this butterfly exercise, which is also, I must say, probably my all-time favorite exercise. I have done this 2 times a week, every week, for the last 6 years. I love it. But same for her. Once she hit this exercise, she had so much more freedom in her hips, and it gives you this buttery sensation, like fatigue and shaking, but also a lot smoother. And this is what's actually going to balance reciprocal tension across the joint so that things don't get so tight in the first place. This is key. We need to implement this step, or you're going to be missing out on incredible gains. Now we have that space and control, but movement still needs to change. So this is where corrective exercise, such as your classic dead bugs, which again, that client Alexandra that I had mentioned earlier, she says, dead bugs feel so good on my back. That's because we're activating that front side of the body so that the back side can begin to relax. It's also teaching how to properly stack the body, the ribs to pelvis, so that your back and your hips don't have to create so much stability as you're going throughout your life and your lifts. Another incredible one are these mini side lunges. My clients love these. That's sarcasm because they tend to drive people a little crazy at first. It takes some practice. And the focus here is not strength. It's to develop a neurological connection from head to toe and to feel what we're trying to feel here instead of letting the body do whatever it wants to do. Deeper into the corrective exercise space here in this step is movement efficiency in general. Making sure that you're squatting correctly and in the balance, deadlifting correctly. If you're a snatch, clean and jerker, same thing. If you spend hours a week doing mobility, but you lift really poorly, or you overload it and everything breaks down and you're compensating, you're just negating all of that work you put in with the mobility, and you're not going to reach the final result that you're looking for, which is to be able to train hard often and not hurt while doing it. So diving into the technique is an absolute must. If the pattern and the way that you load your body doesn't change, you're just going to keep running into the same issues over and over and over again. Step number 5 is program design. Not only with your traditional training, and how it doesn't matter what sport you play. I work with CrossFitters, strongmen, power lifters, Olympic lifters, all of the above. The Olympic lifters that I program for, I know exactly what they're doing. I love that. I know when they're on a deload. I know what they're up to at all times. When it comes to those runners and CrossFitters, kettlebell sport competitors, they have coaches too, and I trust their coaches to be smart on that end of things with their program. But program design matters for mobility training too, because we want to actually progress things. We don't want to keep doing the same things over and over again and it doesn't get any harder. That's the problem with your classic corrective exercise. Those dead bugs, bird dogs, all of that are wonderful, but they're just body weight. And if you're a really strong person, you're going to need more input and more intensity, more volume than just a couple sets of body weight exercises to truly make a lasting difference. This system only works when it's layered properly and programmed properly, starting with that tissue work rolling out, passive stretching to open that joint capsule space, end range strength training to gain that strength and control, corrective exercise and movement efficiency to make sure we're integrating everything from head to toe. And lastly, again, the program design, making sure that we're progressing and being smart with volume and all of that. If you're ready to implement this system into your life and to get it right without wasting more time trying to figure it out on your own, book a call with me. The link is in the description, and I'll talk to you soon.